So I'll be working on this first. As you can see, I've already sewn lining and these parts together. So for this, I cut out lining and foam for it. To start sewing it, I'm going to keep this aside. I'll be working on this first. So this is the cord I'll be sewing with it to make it stand out. I'll place it on the material like this, then I will stitch it round with it. After getting to that point, I will stitch the rest. You can see I'm done sewing it together with cord, and I've also stitched the bottom. After that, I take the tape rule. Then I measure it round and I get 16.5 inches. So I'll be adding gusset to it, but if you like, you can leave it that way. So if I want to add the gusset, I will measure 2 inches from the right side and 2 inches from the left side. What I did, I will explain to you on this paper right here. You know the total measurement is 16.5 inches. 2 inches here, 2 inches here, all together is 4 inches. I removed the 4 from 16.5 inches and it gives me 12.5 inches. So the 12.5 inches will be for the zip cloth, while the 2 inches for both sides will be for the gusset. Because of the sewing allowance, I will add 5 inches to the 2 inches both. Now I will cut 2.5 inches gusset for both sides. So for the zip cloth, I will cut 13 inches for it because I've added the 5 inches allowance to it. So this is the zip cloth. I've already cut it out 13 inches. So I will take this, I will fold it into two to get the midpoint. After getting the midpoint, I will notch it out. Then I will take the zip cloth, I'll fold it into two to get the midpoint. After getting the midpoint also, I will notch the both sides. I've notched the both sides. So I'm done sewing it on it, you can see. So what I did is that I placed the zip cloth on the leather, notch point to notch point, then I stitch it first side and the second side. So before you stitch it together, don't forget to add a zip teeth to it. So that is what I did. You can see how rhyme it was. Now I will cut out the essence that remain. So this is the taping I'll be using to tape it round. So I'm done taping it. You can see the way it look like after taping it. See how neat it was. The next thing now is to cut out the two gussets. What I did is that I measured the wideness of this to get the wideness of the gusset, which is 1.7 inches. Then I cut out the two gussets, which is 1.7 inches by 2.5 inches. You can see I've cut out lining for it. So what I did is that I placed the gussets right side facing each other on it. Then I take the lining, I put it under it, then I stitch it together. Likewise for the second aspect also. I'm done sewing it together. You can see the way it looks like. So the next thing for me now is to turn it over and top stitch it both sides. I'm done top stitching it. You can see the way it look like. After that, I stitch it round together with the lining and I trim out the excess lining that remain. So I will take this, I'll fold it into two. After folding it into two, I will centralize it by getting the midpoint. After getting the midpoint, I will notch it out. I will take the midpoint of the zip cloth and I will join both together, notch point to notch point. Then I will stitch the right side and also the left side together. After that, I will tape it at once. So this is it after joining both together. You can see the way it look like, how neat it was. And I also tape it at once. You can see the way it look like. So now I'm done with this part. We move to the second part. So now I'll be working on the upper one. If you look at it, you will see I've already sewn foam and lining together with the cord on it, and also sew lining to the top one also, the same way I did the first one. So this is the zip cloth. I've already cut it out. So don't forget to add a zip teeth to it before joining it together. I will take this and I will place the zip cloth on it right side facing each other and I will stitch it round. Then I will take the taping, the way I did this one, I will use it to tape it round After that, I will take the second part, I will do the same thing to it. I'm done joining it together. If you look at it, you will see that it looks like the first aspect I first did. So there's no need for you to add any gussets here, but if you like, you can add gussets to it on your own, but I prefer to leave it that way because it is at the top. Please don't forget to always tape it when you are done sewing it. After that, I cut out lining for it, then I stitch it round together with the lining. So this is it after adding the lining to it. I've also cut out lining to cover the back space of these two by stitching it round together with the lining. Please ignore the lining under it, don't stitch it together. So just join the top one and the lower one together by stitching it. Please don't forget to add lining to the lower one before joining it together. After stitching it together, I will use the taping to tape it at once. I'm done joining both together. You can see the way it look like, and I also tape it at once. Like I said earlier, don't forget to stitch lining to the lower one before joining both together and tape it at once. So I will be cutting out more base to add to it, but if you are okay with the length, you can leave it that way. So I've cut out the small base I'll be using, and the measurement I cut out is 3 inches by 9.7 inches. And I also cut out lining for it. So I will take the lining, I will place it down, I will take this, I will place it on it right side facing up. Then I will take the small base, I will place it on it and stitch it together. After stitching it together, I will turn it over and I will top stitch it. So I'm done stitching it together, you can see. Then I turn it over, I top stitch it. Then I cut out small pieces for cord wrap. Then I'll place the cord on it and stitch it around till I get to the second edge. I'm done stitching it together with cord. You can see the way it look like. Then after that, I will use the cord wrap to cover it and stitch it both sides. So for the gusset, what I did right here, I'll be repeating it again. Then I used the tape rule to measure it round and I get 33.3 inches. Then I want the gusset to start from 6.5 inches for both sides. So what I did is that I plus the 6.5 inches both together and it give me 13 inches. Then I take away the 13 inches from 33.3 inches and it give me 20.3 inches. So because of the sewing allowance, I will be adding 5 inches to the gusset and the zip cloth. So for the zip cloth, I'll be cutting out 20.8 inches. And please don't forget to always add your zip teeth to it. I will be using 2. So I will be working on this first. I will take it, I will fold it into 2 to get the midpoint and I will notch it out. I will take the zip cloth too, I will fold it into 2 and notch the midpoint both sides. Then I will place it on each other and stitch it round together. After joining both together, I will cut out the essence that remain and I will tape it at once with the taping. I'm done sewing it together and I also tape it at once. You can see the way it look like. Then I cut out the essence that remain. For the gusset, I cut out 7 inches. Then I take this, I measure the wideness, give me 2 inches. So that is why I was able to get the 2 inches wideness. Then I will take the gusset, I will place it on it and the lining under it and stitch it together. After stitching it, I will turn it over and top stitch it. Then I will do the same to the second aspect also. If you watch the video from the beginning, you will understand the way I was able to join the gusset together clearly. I'm done adding the gusset to the zip. You can see the way it look like. Then I'll fold it into 2 to get the midpoint. I'll also fold the second one into 2 to get the midpoint. Then I will stitch both together, notch point to notch point round. So I'm done sewing it together. You can see the way it look like, and I've also taped it at once. I've cut out lining for it, you can see. Then I'll spread the lining down. I'll take the front side, I'll place it on it. I've cut out small pieces for the cord wrap, so I'll place it at the middle. Then I'll take the cord, I'll place the cord on it and stitch it round with it. After getting to where I start, then I'll use the cord wrap to cover it and stitch it. Please don't forget to shape the bottom edge, but if you like you can leave it that way, but I like to shape it so that it will give me a round shape. Then I will use the scissors to trim it out. So now I'm done sewing the front side, so you can see the way it look like. See how neat and how shaped it was.